empty cup. Just crack a smile and fill it up. Fill it up.
Welcome to After the Final Pour. I haven't said that in a while. Welcome to After the Final Pour, brought to you by the Malting Hour. I am one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger
and our special guest,
Ray Stout.
Hey Ray.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us for this.
Hey, well, I'm happy to be back.
Remember when we hung out last week and drank all those other beers? Thanks for coming back this week. That's not true. We're just following this up with another beer.
I've been sleeping down here.
Thanks for staying here for that week while Brandon was not here. I just checked in on you and the cats and made sure you guys were okay. Brandon, you are out of bourbon. Ray and I had a lot of fun.
Have you found my pants?
I think I'm wearing them. I'm sorry about that. I thought these were mine. It was crazy. Oh, jeez. That's for another episode.
I had to go to New Orleans to find this.
Tell everybody what you're holding up.
The bottle of Eagle Rare 10-year.
Wow.
This is, so like out of this like small collection of bourbon bottles that I have, this is one that I've always been looking for. Every time I go to Binny's or something, it's always gone. Like it's just, it was on the shelf and then it's gone. And when I was in New Orleans, I was like, I'm going to look on Drizzly. This is the alcohol delivery.
Yeah.
And it was MSRP. And it was delivered. I paid $4 for delivery, and they brought it to the Airbnb I was at. I was like, this made the trip to New Orleans even more worth it.
Brandon, I can't wait to try that with you.
But yeah, I mean, that'll happen.
Like most of all the other stuff. So I'm going to... Actually, Ray, do you have a guess of what this is, by any chance?
Either brewery or...
Style. I have an idea.
Is it a barrel-aged stout?
Yeah, it's a barrel stout.
I think we all know it's a barrel-aged stout. I'm going to say a barrel-aged...
I'm going Reb's profile.
Yeah, I'm with that as well.
Ooh.
I'm leaning on the coffee, too.
I think you might know what it is.
Oh, there is coffee, isn't there?
I think so. I got that once I took that first, smell. I think I know exactly what this beer is. Which I don't ever really get on here.
It's phenomenal.
It's fantastic. If I'm right, I think it's a couple years old, not too old.
Okay.
Maybe 2 to 3 years old.
Okay.
I'm going to lean... do you guys mind if I take a guess?
Go for it.
I think it's Supermassive Cafe Deth.
The answer is Supermassive Café Deth.
Yeah.
2021.
Okay, so 2 years ago. The only reason why, because I had a 2021 Cafe Deth recently because I got their little library box, which I plowed through. By the way, Brandon, sorry,
That's okay.
I drank them all because they were so good.
How many was in there? 4? Or
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the price point for that for 2-year-old beers of these particular beers, it was $50 for a 4-pack. Which some people might be like, "That's crazy," but look at some of the other barrel-aged beers you can get.
Yeah,
they're like $100 for a 12-ounce bottle. Not saying anybody. I've said it before without saying who they are, but you know who I'm talking about. Not from Illinois. I had a Cafe Deth. I had a Maple Deth. I had Maple Jacket.
Ooh.
Maple Jacket, Cafe Deth. Oh shit! What was? Oh crud! I'm blanking, but the last one was Strawberry Jacket, and I drank the Strawberry Jacket, and that's the one that I wanted the most because there was last weekend. I was like, I'm going to dive into this. I'm sorry, Brandon. I meant to say
It's
it
okay.
for you.
I don't think I've ever had Strawberry Jacket either.
Oh shit, man!
Could have been
I
your
thought
shot.
you did. Are you sure? Because there's strawberry. We talked about strawberry candy.
There's only one way to find out.
We're gonna have to go back in the archives. But so the reason why
Tapped.
I remember Supermassive Cafe Deth, it was the second summer of the pandemic, and this was released. And I remember sitting in my yard. I think maybe on either a Sunday or a Friday night. I had a bonfire going. I was like, you know what? It was probably Sunday night. I was like, it's probably a bad idea to have a big coffee beer right now. Sun setting, which means it's probably around 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'm like,
8-ish, 9-ish.
I'm doing it. And I don't regret it. It was fantastic. And it's still coffee beers sometimes have a hard time holding up with aging. You can get that acidity or that green pepper. I'm not getting this.
No.
Or getting that. I get big barrel and then this nice coffee.
That's such a lovely picture that you just painted. You know, like usually it's music for me that brings me back to a point in time, but
I'm there too.
Beer, like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Music will do that for me as well. I'm a music lover first, beer lover second, cat lover third. I'm gonna actually shift everything down and put my wife first. I'm sorry, Laura.
Great, that's a smart move.
Good thing she doesn't listen.
Can I edit that? But it's true. Like music brings me back to.
That's
but
right.
but there are things like that, like about beer, that remind me, especially during the pandemic. Like I had a lot of good beers, and we did some fun like video episodes. But I do remember like that was the first like summer of the stout for me, because I was drinking a bunch of like. I was like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Is that 2020 or 2021?
2021.
We don't know what's going to
What's
happen.
gonna happen?
2020 was the first pandemic.
No, I'm saying, but like the second summer of like 2021 was still like
It was still weird. It was a weird summer.
still pandemic-y times, and like there was still just me hanging out in the yard with a fire, mainly by myself.
But you did that before the pandemic.
No, Jeff joined me. Jeff was with me drinking bourbon, and we were cooking, tomahawk steaks. But this I do remember getting this one and being like super pumped, because I don't know if Clark and I split it. Maybe Clark and I split the 4-pack. But this one stood out because Clark doesn't really care for coffee beers. Cousin Paul doesn't either. But I do. Like, it's hit or miss for me, and I feel like this one, like Supermassive Café Deth, however it's pronounced, this is like a coffee lover's bourbon barrel-aged beer.
No, it's great. It's held up really well, and you're right about those coffee notes. Is that they sometimes turn off flavors with aging, and this is all around still a great beer. So thank you for this.
Oh, of course. This isn't even the oldest beer that
We still have a wait. You're about to go. We figured it out. You have a 2013 Bourbon County,
I think of 2012.
and we had just 2012 or 2013, and we said
Well, I have 12, 13.
Yeah,
I think
that he
14.
has to save at least one of them for 10 more years, because why not just do 20 years?
A 20-year on it.
Yeah.
Got to, right? Be crazy nuts.
Hey, you've gone this far.
Yeah.
Right?
What's 10 more years? It's fine. Oxidation? What? Probably. Be careful. I'll drink it with you. Don't worry.
So I think that's probably the oldest one that I have right now.
Have you had this before, Brandon? Supermassive Cafe?
Yeah.
Have we drank this? I think maybe we drank this together too.
It's possible. I mean, I got a 4-pack of it, so I think this might be my last one. So.
Oh, nice. It's fantastic though. I mean, Revolution to me is really become one of my favorite breweries here in Chicago. It's they're very much a go-to. Like, the barrel program is fantastic, and again, because we have so many options, not knocking all the other breweries. I have a lot of other favorite beers from other breweries, but I do find myself most of the time seeing Revolution stuff where I'm like, I want to pick Fist City. I'm grabbing Fist City. The lemonade mix pack now. Like the Freedom series is fantastic. We've done a bunch of episodes on that. We've done a bunch of the barrel age stuff. I mean, Antihero, as far as an IPA, is just so good.
And that's what I was doing during the pandemic. Like the height of it, I was getting all of my kegs from. I'd buy a keg from get Fist City, put that on tap.
Golden Cross.
Cross of Gold. Put it on tap.
This isn't after the final.
So I had that. So I had been doing that for a while, and then I was like, let me see what Old Irving has. So I checked in with them, and I think I did Beezer. I did Della first, then I did a Beezer, and now I have their Oni, their dry hopped lager on tap.
Which the name
just happens to have a Rev handle.
The funny thing is like, as I was saying,
Matthew, I need an Old Irving handle, please. Thank you.
As I was saying that about Rev, I'd realized it recently that the other brewery, and again, as much as we talk about Old Irving and they've been on here, oh boy, your wife's in trouble. She has dropped a bowl of some sort. They're probably the second brewery that is also my go-to. Like, everything that they put out, I'm always like, oh man, this is so good. Oh man, this is so good. Oni is one of my favorite beers of all time. Dry hop lager, everybody.
It is a really good beer. And so when I first moved to the Chicagoland area, Beezer was one of the first beers that I tried and absolutely fell in love with. I came from the East Coast, more specifically the Northeast, so that overly hazy hoppy
You already
style,
had your idea.
I was like, I know what I'm looking for. And so Beezer was the one that really did it for me. And I was like, oh yes, all right, there is good beer here. expanded since then.
I have a friend who mainly he likes bourbon. Like he has a nice selection of bourbon. He and I get together every now and then. Yeah, Phil. He and I will get together and do vinyl and bourbon nights.
Very cool.
Where we'll listen to one side of a record that we're sharing. Like I'll bring a record and whatever, and he's got a very nice bourbon selection, and we're literally just doing like small pours. But he used to really love IPAs. We got burnt out on them, like a lot of us do. When you first get in the craft beer scene, depending on where your age is at, you go crazy, on IPAs. And I introduced him to Beezer, and he fell in love, like so much so that he's like, I told him like, yeah, this is called a hazy IPA. That he just tried all of like Chicago and Illinois like hazy IPAs. And so he just got. This is coming out middle of May, so Triple Beezer might still be around because as we're recording this, it just got released, and I'm going to his house after your son's birthday later in the day. He's never had Triple Beezer. He's had Double Beezer. He's had regular Beezer, and I said,
"You're gonna blow his mind."
Like it's your birthday too. Here's Triple Beezer. Like Triple Beezer is a lot. It's a lot, but like it's. I was so proud that like someone who used to hate IPAs tried Beezer and was like, "This is it. I'm back. I'm back." That I actually texted Matthew and I said, "By the way, turn a friend on to Beezer.
Yeah.
He likes IPAs again."
Yeah, you're converting people.
Welcome home.
Yeah.
Welcome home, baby. Welcome home. Yeah, overall, I would say that Supermassive Cafe Deth, I mean, I with how much coffee is in this, really held up very nicely. It's very tasty. Rev has such a great like barrel age program that like I love that with like single can places like Beer on the Wall and Bottles and Cans, and that you can go and just like still find like single cans of just like Death Star. Even Bourbon County, there's still bottles, but like it's so nice to be like, oh great, like I know the release came out, you get excited around November, but here we are now in May, and it's like there's still a couple cans of this stuff left. Like it's kind of nice to like,
cool evening.
Yeah, exactly. Hanging out by the fire. We really got to stop doing that shit. Hanging out by the fire, cracking up beers like that. But it is like there's a time and a place for a barrel aged beer, and this would be a nice like three of us sitting around outside by your fire table. This would have been fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But it sucks because we're here in your bar.
Yeah, can't record around the fire outside. We
tried.
We tried recording outside once. We did it in the garage, and that was okay when we brewed. But then like in the yard, it's
tough.
Literally,
Too much.
I'm in a flight path.
Pro hair.
For some reason in the garage, it was fine. Like
couldn't hear anything. No,
it was okay.
And we drank a bunch and brewed a beer. It was a good episode.
Smoking cigars.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
First time I had a cigar, I was like, I like this cigar.
I'm into this.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, I mean that was because that was a cigar that I had that I actually liked, and I was like, you might like this, and
I did. Coffee, sweetness, fantastic.
Yeah. Gonna do that again.
Just like this beer. Coffee, sweetness, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Ray, thanks for joining us for this After the Final Pour as well. We appreciate it, and we look forward to having you on. From around there, it's gonna be like 14 episodes now. Well, After the Final Pour doesn't really count, so you're still at 15. So
Yeah.
We'll see around 125, maybe. We'll see. I don't know when
I'll
that
be
is.
around.
Fantastic. Brandon, love you, buddy.
Love you too, bud.
Ray, thanks again, man.
Hey, bye.
Thanks, Ray.
See ya. Take care, everybody.
Hey guys.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.